Hi guys, quick video for you about Anki and why I want you to use it. First, the why. It's about spaced repetition, which is, as you know, one of the effective ways of learning, and it's about recall practice. Again, it's really good to retrieve information, not just do some passive learning, which doesn't really mean learning. It's not real. So passive learning isn't a thing. Some people try and do it. It's not going to work. Right, on to goods. First thing you've got to do, you've got to install it. Takes 22 seconds. Here we go. So you go to your favorite browser, you type in Anki, and then you find the Anki webpage. There it is down there, Anki Powerful Intelligent Stuff. You click on download, you find the bit that says Mac OS, and you scroll over to the bit that says Anki, and you download it. Then you click on the file, and you drag it across to your applications. And bada bing, bada boom, you've managed to install it. It took about 20 seconds. You're done. Right, brilliant. Let's move on to the next bits. Before I do that, I'm gonna shrink myself. Can I shrink myself a little bit? I can't shrink myself. Maybe I can on the next slide. Here we go. No, I can't. Okay, can't shrink my face. Here we go. Keys principles. If you're in grade 8, these are the things you need to do. 1 fact per card. Be easy to understand, clear and concise answers. You're going to use active recall. So you're making thinking, not just recognition. You're going to use paraphrasing, put things in your own words. You're going to have pictures, because we know that dual coding is an effective thing that helps your brain. And here's my first example. We've got, there's a typo in there as well. If you can spot the typo, you're brilliant. So we've got the first one, we've got what's the primary function of this organ? It doesn't name what it is. And then in the answer on the backside, it does name what it is. And there's a nice image as well. You can see we've got the 3 options. We can say, was it good? Was it difficult? Hard? And do you need to have it again? If you say hard, it'll come up more often than if you say it's good. And if you say again, it'll definitely come up more often. Let's go on to the why it's good sides. It's got a visual aid. Love a visual aid. Helps you associate that function with that organ's appearance. We've got a single focus. We're just talking about one organ's primary function. It requires active recall. You have to describe a process, not just recall a single word. And we've got some tagging going on there. It's got hashtag digestion organs, and you can filter things nicely. I can now increasingly move that up there, and I can make myself small, and so I wouldn't be in the way anymore. Being able to filter things later on when you want to study a particular topic, that's going to be really useful. When you've got 500 or 5,000 of these Anki cards, that will help you. You can use them next year, and you can use them next year, and next year, and next year, and onwards forever. Here's my second card. This one's slightly different. This is a close deletion activity. Close activities are where you have a missing word. So you type in your text, and then you select the words that you don't want to have. Oh, you've got to choose to be a close activity. And you select the words, and then you hold down Command and Shift and C, and it will put the curly brackets in, the curly braces around the words. And here we've got C1 and C2. So it'll actually be a separate card. Let's go on to the why it's good. Why it's good? Well, it's a close deletion. It's a highly effective way of testing recall and sentence structure. That's why we like doing them. It's got multiple closes. I've just mentioned we've got C1 and C2. It'll make 2 separate cards. So you've only got to make one bit of text. You've got multiple things that you can be tested on different days. We've got contextual recall. So we're trying to recall a specific nutrient based on its function, not just a standalone definition. And we've got a tagging thing going as well. We've got nutrients there. So it's easy to categorize things. You probably want to think about how you're going to categorize your topics carefully. Maybe you're going to have subheadings within them. So this might be nutrition underscore nutrients. And then you can have nutrition underscore organs. So you can keep them all together. Next, if you're in grade 11, it's a little bit harder because you're going for higher order thinking things. We're going for conceptual. Focus on understanding connections and implications, not just definitions. We're going to higher order, Bloom's orders of thinking. We're going to look higher up. You're going to go for critical thinking, prompt analysis, and not just rote memorization. Link to your real life situations so you can link the talk to the real world, and you're still being atomic. So we're going to focus on a single concept on each card. Don't try and add more. It doesn't work like that. You think you've got the whole card, but you might only have one of the concepts, and that's a shame to miss out on that learning. Use aggressive tagging. You don't have to just have one hashtag, you can have multiple. And because of the way TOK works, there's lots of interconnections. So having aggressive tagging is quite a good idea. Here's my example. I've got the front of the card, I've got the back of the card. Again, this is a close activity. How is something often considered, and we've got some stars around things, a strength. Now, on the back side of the card, you can add, there's a little tab, so you can choose the strengths and the limitations, so they can come up on different cards, which is definitely a good thing. Again, oh, here we go. This is how it would look if I'd put it in there. Looks quite nice. We've got the hashtags. You can just kind of see them grayed out at the moment. And we've got the good, hard, and again. Why is it good? Conceptual depth. It asks for both strength and a limitation, encouraging balanced critical thought. We've got a WOC and an AOC integration. So we explicitly have a way of knowing, which is reason, to an area of knowledge, which are the natural sciences, which is good because that's what we're starting off with together. And it's got a contextual example. It provides a concrete example, one of the 6 effective strategies to illustrate the abstract concepts that we have in TOK. And the aggressive tagging. We've got 1, 2, 3 different tags, so we can really try and filter things later on when we want to study. Second example, we've got the discovery of Neptune through mathematical prediction, followed by telescopic observation, is a powerful example of curly braces, reason, and guide sense perception to expand knowledge in the natural sciences. So we've got the first concept, we've got the second concept coming through. There we're using, again, Command-Shift-C to make these close activities. Let's move on. Why it's good? Well, we've got real-life situation. We've got the abstract TOK concept to a concrete identifiable event. There we go. Making it easier to recall and discuss. We've got an interplay of ways of knowing. So we've got reason and sense perception and how they interact in knowledge production. We've got the closed deletion, as we've used most times this way, for concepts. So you have to recall the relevant TOK terms in context of the real life situation. Here we go. And we've got, again, the tagging. We know what we're talking about. We've got the actual real life situation. We've got a way of knowing, and we could go a little bit further if you wanted to as well. So few little extra bits if you're feeling extra good. When you've got your curly braces, add a double colon, and then you can put a hint in afterwards. So if we're talking about the organs of the heart, then you might have the hint being 4 chambers. And then when it comes through on the back side, on the front, it'll have, gives you the hint of 4 chambers if you want it. We can have reason, it's a way of knowing, and falsification and concept. So it's possible to have that little hint to help people along the way, help yourself along the way. Why, you might have noticed that some of my cards are hard to see. I've put some text over text. It's because of the science of desirable difficulty. So this is not Anki. This is just me wanting to throw in a bit extra. First of all, the myth. The myth is what we think helps learning, and we often believe that learning should feel easy. We use clean fonts, simple layouts, and clear text, assuming that fluency means the information is sinking in. The research, what actually helps learning, is that when the brain is focused to work harder, to simply read the text, for example, a slightly blurry, less familiar or disfluent font, it engages in deeper processing. This extra effort signals to the brain that the information is important, and more difficult learning to better encoding and long-term memory. Takeaway is the desirable difficulty principle. It's a great idea. There's a cognitive psychologist called Robert Bjork and some friends of his, colleagues, he looked at the work of, and it shows that you actually improve long-term retention. There's a great book, where's my link to my notes? The book is called Make It Stick, The Science of Successful Learning. It's by Peter Brown, Henry Roediger, and Mark McDaniel. Definitely worth doing, particularly the baseball study. Great article. Recommend it. Anyway, hope this helps. Make your fonts hard, make your Anki cards, and we'll use those in class. Okay, take care. Bye. I'm not sure if I've paused. I have. No, I haven't. I'm going to pause now.